if mastering Lightroom in 2025 was easier than you thought? Well, in this video right here, my friend, I'm going to show you 10 must-know Lightroom tips and hacks that you've probably never heard of. On top of that, I can honestly be so bold to guarantee that these tips will take your editing to new heights. How can I say that? Because it did that for me. Anywho, if you've never seen me before, then my name is Arnolfur. You can call me Ari because my Icelandic name is really hard to pronounce. I've been editing photos on almost a daily basis for nearly a decade, and I've done it professionally for years. And we are gonna have a good time together. Plus, between me and you, then the last tip, it's so good that I don't really want to share it because it should be illegal. All right, my friends, so welcome to Lightroom. Now, the first tip is something that I've never seen anybody else talk about in this way that I'm going to show you. So I've decided to coin this effect, the spot glow effect. Or maybe I should say the spot glow, the Icelandic guy spot glow effect to put my name on it. I don't know invent this, I think, but this is how I use it, and I think it's pretty good. So I personally like to add a lot of glow to my photos. It's really popular at the moment using either the effects here or mist filters or whatever. But one thing that I like to do additionally is to add a glow to specific places in the photos to make them bloom a little bit more. For instance, here, it would be cool if we add a little glow to the light here to make that bloom a little bit more. And the way I do that is to go filter, plus, and use a radial filter, and then we drag it around the light like so. You can have it as big and small as you want. We can have it something like this here. Personally, when I do this, then I like to feather it out all the way. So if you press H on, oops, we now took away everything, but we click it again and you press H, then you can see it. And now you can see with the feather, I like to feather it out all the way. And then O, of course, you get the red, which shows you where the mask is affecting. So then all you really need to do is to go down to the clarity and just drag it down ever so slightly. Now, to exaggerate this and show you what's happening, then let's take this down all the way. And now you can see that it makes the light here, if you press H to remove this, really it glows a whole lot. So if you take it off, you can see this is without and this is with. Now to take this one step further, what you can do is to right click on it, intersect mask width and luminance range, and then click just the, let me see, something happened there. We go to intersect width, luminance range, there we have it, and then we click just the highlights. And what we're going to do now, we're going to select just the highlights. So the effect is really just affecting the highlights, and then I like to gradually make them come to the rest of the photo. So here we select the highlights. So up here is the highlight here. We can select a big part of the highlights, and then we have it gradually all the way down. You see? So it goes all the way here. This is just makes it a little bit more subtle, a little bit stronger at the core of the highlights, and then it fades out a little bit, which I think sells the effect a little bit better. And now this is it. Now I wouldn't go 100 and down with the minus clarity and texture. This here is without it, and this is with it. And then all you have to do is just to adjust the clarity and texture to your liking and maybe even the size of the filter itself. Alright, so tip number 2 is so good that when I first learned it, I'm kid you not, a part of my brain melted and went leaked a little bit out of my ear. Now this has been around for a little while, so chances are that you already know how to use it. But just in case that you do not know this, then my friend, you need to learn this because it saves you so much time and makes it honestly just better. So for the sake of the demonstration, we're using a handsome model, me, and what we are going to do is basically, so we go up to masks here, and you press plus, and this is the, all the AI mask. I'm sure you know all of these. You can select the subject, the sky, the background, with just a click of a button. One thing that you cannot select is the foreground, but there's a really quick hack around that. You just select sky, and then you would basically, once it select the sky, you just right click, and you go to invert, and now we have the foreground. Then you can invert all of the masks and all that. But that is not what we're going to talk about. What I'm going to show you is the plus. You go to select people, and now Lightroom is going to detect all of the people that are in your photo. So if you have multiple persons, you can, it's going to show you the multiple persons. But here we just have one handsome guy, not many, all right? So you click this, and here is the magic. Not only can you, is it masking the entire person, but you can also go in and just have the facial skin, body skin, eyebrow, eyes, the iris and pupils, lips, teeth, hair, face. I mean, the facial hair and clothes. I come from an era, I've been doing this for so long. When I remember I had to paint everything. Now I don't have to do it. And it's so
fast. It blows my mind every time I do this. And that's all you have to do then if you just say lips is to click the lips, create mask, and then you can just like go up with the color of them, obviously up a little bit here, and you look. I'm enhancing myself. All right, so tip number 3 is one of these things that has not only enhanced my editing, but also just my photos, because now I know that I can push my cameras much more than I was ever able to do. So what I'm going to show you here is on this photo. This is like 2 hours after this volcanic eruption erupted. This is just outside of the capital of Iceland in Reykjavik, and I ran out. This is like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I took photos. I forgot my tripod, so this is handheld. So as you can see, the photo is shot at ISO 12,800. That's a whole lot of ISO, especially for a small camera. So what I knew I could do, I knew that I could probably get away with it because of this little trick. So as you can see, there is a ton of noise, like a ton of noise. So what we can do, if we go down to details here, you can go to click the denoise, and this is like an AI denoise. It's insane. I'm sure many of you know this, but there is a little thing that you can do to make it even better, because the trade-off when you use it, you can see this is with it enhanced and this is without. I mean, this is so much noise and it takes it away, but it comes at the cost that the photo becomes a little bit softer. So of course you have the slider here, how much you want to, like how heavy you want to go and how little. I think that 50 is often like a nice like middle ground, but you can press enhance right now. All right, so as you can see now, we have a very clean photo, and then on the other side here, we have not so clean photo, but this becomes a little bit soft. So what I like to do then is to go here in detail again and sharpen it a little bit. However, when I sharpen my photos, I never like to sharpen the entire photo. So that's why the masking slider down here is great. So when you drag the masking slider up, you're going from sharpening the entire photo to just sharpening parts of the photo. And you can see what, if you hold in Alt while you slide it, what you're sharpening. Everything that is white is being sharpened. And the more we go up, the less and less of the photo is sharpened. Personally, I think like from 50 and above is pretty nice. We can say 70 for this one. And as you can see, now we're just sharpening the details, and I feel like I'm bringing back sharpness and life and just some clarity to those specific places that we kind of lost with the enhance. And using this in combination, so good. It's like cheating on steroids with, you know, all them steroids and hormones and everything. By the way, if you want to level up your photography and photo editing, but you're spending 5 minutes a week, I sent out these like free tips and tricks every single week. And by signing up, you also get my black and white preset pack totally for free as well. Plus, there's no strings attached. You can like unsubscribe anytime you want. But if you're watching this video, then I know that you're going to like the newsletter as well. Anywho, tip number 4 is something that I recently learned you could do in Lightroom. I had no idea you could do this. I was paying for other software to do just this thing for me, but now I can do it here and it's gold. So let me show you this. We have a photo here, and the resolution of this photo is 4672 by 7008. All right. If I would like to make a massive print, this is kind of too small. It was too like low of a resolution to do that. But what you can do is that you right click the photo, go to enhance, and now you have the denoise again. We're not going to use that. You click off the denoise, and then you have raw details or super resolution. If I understood raw details correctly, it's enhancing the details in your photo. So if you're gonna print it, you could be good by doing this. But super resolution is actually gonna double the size of the pixels, and it's not stretching the pixels out like when you're upscaling it the old way. I think this is using like AI to duplicate the pixels by it. So you're basically just getting double the amount of pixels, a massive difference. So show you here, super resolution, enhance, and take a look at it now. If we go to library and take a look at the dimensions right now, 9,344 by 14,016. And if we zoom in on this one, we can zoom in by 200. You see the details are really good. Is it any difference between this detail and the details here? We go, and this we have to go then 400 to get the same amount. I mean, I can't really see any massive difference. If I throw the photos up side by side now, do you see any difference? I surely don't. This is insane. This is truly magical. All right, my friends, so tip number 5 is something that I sometimes like to do, not always, but from time to time. And it's really good to know about this, because if you are something like me and everything in your head is just going like a storm, It's just and you editing, and all of a sudden you look at everything and it's just a mess, and you want to just slow things down a little bit and get a little bit more precise and just structured. Then I would recommend doing this here. So for instance, here I've been editing and everything is just open and it's kind of a mess, and I'm not totally sure where to begin. So what I can do to take just a little bit better overview and take this in step by step is that you can right click here and go to solo mode. So then it just collapses everything, and once you start with the basic mode, it just opens the basic mode, and it makes everything much cleaner and simpler and nicer to follow around. So here, then we go to tone curve, then we can go to the color mixer, and then we can go to the color grading as well. Ain't this a little bit cool? And then of course, if you want to expand everything, you can just right click on it and expand all. This is collapse all, I'm sorry, but expand all here, and everything opens. And the same as you saw, collapse all as well. Very nice to know, simple little hack that I recommend that you at least try out and know about. And while I have your attention, you could also smack the like button for me. Cling. I made the sound effect and everything. So tip number 6 is a way for me to massively speed up my edits. I am taking photos pretty much all the time. So I'm working with sets of photos that I'm editing. And there's no need for me to make a base edit to all the photos at once. So what I can do, for instance, here I have a set. This is a photo of a very similar spot. All right. So once I've edited one photo, we can just expand this all so you can see what I've been doing. I've edited this photo, put lots of things on it. And these photos down here, this is all shot on a similar, we can open it up like this, so you can see. These are all shot on a similar place. I mean, these are exactly the same place, and this is kind of the same place. And I'm very happy with this edit, and I want to apply it to all of these in one go. So it's very easy. With this selected, you hold in Shift, you select all of them, and then you see the sync button, you just press sync. Now here you can choose what effects you want to have synced across the photos. Personally, I like to have pretty much everything, maybe not the crop. So where is the crop? Blah, 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 blah. Is that treatment and profile? No. Here, the crop. And I often don't like to have masks. Sometimes if it's exactly the same photo, I might have the mask because I've already done them. But usually if it's not the exact same place, then I just leave the mask like this. And then you just press synchronize, and you've taken photos and made same edit across them in just one click. Now here we just then add masks. So very, very simple. Just a mask like this here, something like this. Let me see. And then up with the like this, and yeah, we're pretty much finished. And then you see I have a little bit of lens dust, so we can remove this smudgy lens. That Icelandic guy, are you a little dirty little dog? What am I saying? It's a little bit late here in the studio today. So, but I anywho, and then I just made the crop. And this took so much faster because I've already made the base edit. And this not only speeds up my work process, but also ensures that my sets have the same base tones. And I like that. All right, my friends. So number 7 is all about efficiency and being fast, because speed is money. Speed is just nice, Who wanna spend time on things that you don't have to do it? So here is how I'm trying my best to be efficient, and that is by using shortcuts. So for instance, when I'm in the developer tab, instead of clicking the crop tool like this, I just want to come in here. I just like to press R like this, and then I have it, and then I can press whatever, and then I can crop my photo however I want. All right, really, really, really nice. Now to select the masking tools here, you could click here like I've been doing here in the tutorial to show you what I'm doing, to emphasize, but what I really do is just to press Shift and W, and you get it off straight up like this. Now a level further, if you already know what tool that you're gonna use, then my friend, you can press K for the brush tool. You already have it, and just K, we brush a little bit, done. Nice. You press M for the gradient filter like this, incredibly nice, I know. And then if you hold in Shift and press M, then you have the radial filter. All right, super nice. And obviously for the spot removal tool, you often have to do that. Where did I have my the dirty photos here? I have already used it here in a bunch of places. Let me see. Yes, but you can press Q and then you get it up. Okay, so Q is the spot removal tool. Nice. Then if you press Control, Command, and E, Command is that Alt on PC? I can't remember. It's a long time since I had a PC. But Control, Command, and E, then you jump from Lightroom to Photoshop. Now, there are a bunch of other shortcuts that I use, like Y for before and after. If you double tap L or press it once or 2 times, you get this light out so you can see it like this. Now, I could spend a whole video on just the shortcuts, so I'm just going to throw up here a little list with my favorites, and then you can like use them if you want to. On to the next tip. Now, tip number 8 is an incredibly smart thing that I learned a little while ago that speeds up my editing a ton. I'm going to show you that in a second. First, I just want to show you this here. So if you are interested in getting similar base tone as me and like just speed up your workflow tremendously, then I do recommend you to check out my preset pack. Here you can see the Teague Master Street collection has over 20, I think 28 different presets at the moment, and a bunch of overlays as well. Now, the way I've organized this is that I have like creative presets, which is basically just really creative looks. And sometimes it's a very much hit and miss. It's one of them types of presets. Then I have foundations, which is a base tone of everything. And these I use mostly to set a base tone to my images. Then I have portrait presets and seasonal presets. So I have autumn, summer, and winter. And if you're wondering where the spring preset are, in spring, my friend, that's when you edit your photos, okay? Makes no sense, right? But anyway, if I just show you quickly, I press reset right now. And then I just would say, okay, what type of tone would I like to have here? I think like earthy tones. Oh, green mute looks really nice, really cold. Now you can see that this doesn't really make sense right here, but this is just a start to set a base so I don't have to do everything. I mean, and then I'll press auto. We have taken the photo very quickly from this to this. Very nice base. Then I would like to add my mask. We can do subject, and we can go up with the exposure a little bit. And then I would move on to the next sliders. Maybe take off the blues a little bit, but like really quickly, we've taken the photos from this to this with just a few simple buttons. So if you're interested, my friend, then in the description, there's a link. You can find it. And not only will you be supporting me, which is really much appreciated, like thank you from the bottom of my heart for that, but you will also get some sick presets that I personally use all the time. Anywho, tip number 8 has to do with this. This was not just me shilling my own things. It was also building up to tip number 8, which is about saving local adjustments to presets. So if you're like me and you're using masking all the time, you can actually save those masks and make presets out of them. Let me show you. So here, let's take away the mask that I did on the car right now, like this. And if you go down here, we can collapse this, and you can see my overlay pack right now. So for instance, as you can see, if we go down to center pop like this, what this is doing, if I click it, I've already combined 3 different presets in one here, which I call center pop, which is basically designed to make the middle of the photo pop. And this saves me a ton of time. And the beautiful thing about this is that you go here in the amount, all right, and you can then choose how strong you want it to be, because every photo is different. But you can just go to the amount, and I mean, isn't this fantastic? When I learned this, it was insane. So all you have to do to create this is just to create a few different masks, and then you just go to plus, create preset, create a preset, and then you just select the masks, okay? And I like to, you can see here, I like to name them too. So for instance, if we have brighten the sky, just brighten the sky, and voila. And then you can go to the amount and you do that. And I have them all here separately. This is magic, and this is going to save you a ton of time. You can do this yourself. And yeah, off you go, my friend. Make yourself some local adjustment as presets. It's sick. All right, so tip number 9 is a fairly recent update in Lightroom, and I think it's really clever. I hadn't thought about it before, but once I saw it, I was like, why wasn't this the entire time? So let me show you. When you're working with the tone curves and you want to create just a simple S curve to get contrast, so we're lowering the blacks and we're making the bright part a little bit brighter, what's happening too is that you're actually not only creating like more punch and contrast, but they're also coming punch and contrast to the colors. You're actually getting more saturation. So using this little slider down here, you're able to refine the saturation. So take a look. Now I've just made a contrast. We got a punchy, really colorful image, but by sliding this all the way down, you're taking away a little bit of that saturation. This is super subtle, and you kind of have to see it side by side. But take a look at the orange colors, okay? So this is all the way down. This is all the way up. All the way down, all the way up. So this is, for me, one of those small little subtle things that I play around with to get the photo just right. All right, so tip number 10, my friends, is magic. I feel like I'm saying that everything in magic, but this is like honestly something that I just use all the time, and I really love this program. I get so excited when I'm just editing photos. So I hope that you're getting that too, because that's how I feel here. But number 10 is something that I've talked about before. I've taught it here before on the channel and told you guys about it, but I was doing it in a more complicated way. I've learned, and now with a few updates that have come since I did last time, there are updates that make this much faster. So what I'm going to show you is how you can make this dreamy glow effect in Lightroom. You see how beautiful this is? Now here I used this and a mist filter, but let me show you here. Was it this one? I think we can do it on this photo as well. But basically, what you're going to do, we're going to create a mask that is just affecting the highlights. So here, by going up in the mask, plus, and we go then in luminance range. All right, click that, and then we press the highlights. Now, just like when we were doing the glow in the beginning, this is same, but instead of having it on one place, we make it an entire photo. So we need to create the mask. Up here, you have the lights. So let me just show you how this works. And this is then the gradient, all right? So if we take this all the way up and we take this big one, you can see how we are affecting the highlights going all the way down to the shadows. Now, you can like pretty much, this is just taste how much you want to have, but I like to have it pretty much up here and then rather have the gradient go somewhere like this. And what you do then is just go down and play with the clarity. You see how you make everything bloom by doing this. Clarity here, and then the texture as well. And what you can do too, you could play a little bit around with the dehaze. If there's a sunset environment, you could add a little bit glow to the sunshot by adding a little bit of the color temperature, and you can have the whites as well. It kind of just depends on how white the image is. And the final result is that you're getting photos that are just really, as you're seeing here, just really dreamy, and we can make it even more dreamy by playing a little bit around with this here. And look, we just take down the clarity. Ooh, and here we'd even up the golden color just a little bit to get the golden haze. You see? Oh, this is so good. Anyhow, I hope that you're going to have fun with this because I've had so much fun with this in the past and still am, you know. So now that you got these 10 tips, then there is one simple technique that will take your Lightroom skills to the very next level. Trust me, my friend, you do not want to miss this. So click here and let me show you exactly how it works.